Hey everybody, welcome back to story time. So, I got one more for you guys from the horrible, terribly made campaign that I'm running. The Wannabes and Accidents campaign. It's well, this one was a very surprise. This turn of events surprised me a lot, basically because of how random number generators work and why they create great stories sometimes. Though lots of the times they don't. I had my party, same barbarian, the barbarian. Let's see, there was the barbarian there, who was a very big part of the story. The ranger, the drunk wizard, and then I had let me see. I think I had my cleric there at during this session because this current play game we're going through. I'm more lenient on when people show up just because all of us have quite a bit going on, so I'm fine with that. And I built a story that lets it. So what happened was when everybody was oh wait, there was one more character. This one's also pretty important. A paladin. Well, actually, there was two paladins. One a female paladin who is secretly an angel, a fallen angel. I can't remember that the official race name, but we'll just leave it at that. And then the other who is basically a walking ballista, who since he loves designing weapons and stuff, and that's his thing, is building and designing stuff. We both like designing stuff, but he likes designing like weapons and stuff a lot more than I do. So I let him like build himself his own cool little weapon. Of course, he made the biggest gun he possibly could, which was basically a ballista. That's attached to a tower shield, and he has full plate armor, giving him, I think, 20 armor class. He fires either ballista rounds, which I think is 1d20, or high explosive ballista rounds, which are covered in as much explosive as possible, that are 4d20. Now, the drawbacks to this is he can't move well and shoot as well as he has to take a full turn, including his movement and bonus action, to reload, just because of how powerful it is. And then, of course, the explosion radius is big enough that if the enemy hits him while he has the high explosive on, it explodes and will probably kill him. So, while he's walking down the street with the party, of course, they get bumped into by an unknown entity who secretly was a cultist murderer who sided with the Iris. So they realize that he stole the gold, that a chase ensues, blah blah blah. There's like an error on my part, blah blah blah, and then I had to retcon some stuff. But then eventually we got to it, where I eventually rolled. The guy ran into an alley with his cultist buddies. They put up a really pathetic fight as they were basically outgunned, outnumbered, and just outmatched completely. So they get slaughtered. The barbarian runs up, throws one of his little hand axes, chops one of their arms off in the throw. The ranger fires explosive arrows, destroying most of them. In the end, it gets to the point where there is one left. And while they're discussing what to do with him, I talk about what he's saying, and I start moving my hand to demonstrate what he's doing. It's in a shape, and then the second I move my hand, and they realize that, oh shoot, he's laying an incantation, it's too late. It starts to glow and shake and vibrate, and they kind of realize within like a millisecond he's going to explode like a bomb. So of course the ranger grabs some people, pushes them away. The super heavily armored player who got the money stolen from just runs off, ignores everyone else, is like, screw you guys, I'm just protecting myself. Ignore these 30 or 40 civilians who are around here. The cleric tries his best to get people away, so does the wizard. Yeah, the other paladin does. And then the barbarian, who with his little dinky shield, is like, I know a smart idea. This always ends well for the people who do it in the movies. I'm going to jump on the bomb and press my shield against it. My tiny little pathetic wooden shield. Surprisingly, this goes better for him than it should have. He explodes. Well, the cultist explodes. It sends the barbarian flying back, and the opposite direction goes his arm. And the barbarian is on I think 3 or 4 health left after the damage is done. Or he was healed back up after getting knocked down. He was maybe 3 or 4 away from being instantly killed. So I rolled to see if he lost any limbs. He lost his arm, which is great when you're a barbarian. But so this was the guy who he kind of at this point didn't really understand how D&D was working. He didn't really understand if the barbarian was good, and then it was literally that after that session that he was like, I guess my barbarian's really bad. I want to retcon it. So I of course told him, go look through the player's handbook again. And then he came back and was like, this is amazing. I'm keeping my character, because basically lost his arm, saved 30 civilians. So of course I gave him an inspiration die. Used that to save himself again later. Because for some reason every time I lower the difficulty for my party, they're or they go through a session a little easier because of good rolls even. They're just like, harder difficulty, make it harder. And of course, I'm gonna oblige. It's more fun for me when I get to be cruel and harsh to them in combat. They get the money back, they go back, and basically they made it so the barbarian, the guy has to learn how to fight with one-handed. Luckily, of course, they had a one-hand special. Luckily, of course, their boss is a one-handed specialist. So they get that. Sadly, there was one casualty, though. The barbarian's dinky little wooden shield. Destroyed. A cry every time. We had to bury it. And that was destroyed. And his little wooden axe was also blown up. Because, of course, everything of the barbarians has to get blown up. For some reason. So, this is why I recommend being a little lenient with your party, because of course I'm not going to make his character pay for that, because that was awesome and such a cool scenario that he put himself into, because Dice basically pushed everything to this point. He let himself get blown up, so of course and then I decided to be a little cruel, and then to be realistic, because I already know what the boss would have said to any other character being super heroic like that. So I made the stupid barbarian, the commander, like the guy in charge of their group that they were doing. So basically, normally their group leader would have been the cleric, because he had seniority. And then after that would have been the ranger, because of seniority and all that, and being great at the game. And then of course they have their main captain, which is the Princess Jessica, who is surprisingly and weirdly, for some reason, the princess is also the coolest character and the best battler, because she accidentally Mary Sued herself. And yeah, so this led to him the awkward the weird realization where he's like, wait, why is the dumb barbarian in charge? And yeah, which led to even more insanity as the party decided to let the cleric go and scout with the ranger. You know, the cleric, that one guy. Oh, this cleric also has a broken leg. I keep forgetting. I forgot to mention that before I said that they sent. So basically, it leads to a lot of bad stuff because. But it also is fun because for some reason now the leader is the dumbest party member. And also, not that guy's fault. He's decent, but he's definitely not the best in the group at D&D. But truth be told, I love where his head's at when his character plays because his character's lawful good, and most characters would forget that they're lawful good to be like, I'm just gonna run away. Hence the paladin. Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories, and it came up by accident. And it was in one of my games that I played and manufactured because for some reason I can't seem to I can never predict what's gonna happen with that party. This was one of the few times where I could be like, I could predict how the story might go, and in their session, and it worked, and I was like, yes, they're following the storyline of events, and it's happy for me, and I don't have to try, because I try my best not to streamline, and this time it just worked. They decided to go the direction that I was pointing. It also helps when you have like 20 different directions they could go, but they always find this weird, awkward path through everything. Like, oh, there's a bridge, let's burn it down, then make a bridge out of a tree. Because that's what they like doing. And then, of course, if you guys want any advice or just to talk about D&D or anything, you can message me in the comments section. Trying to be professional, yet I haven't even gotten enough views to be monetized yet, so if you could, please, just share this with other people, please. If you like it, because it tells me you guys want more. I like how I've made 3 of these videos in a day without checking to see if anyone would like them. But also, this channel's name kind of implies sometimes random stuff just pops up. Because it's complete and totally random. I only made the name just so I could say that mainly. And upload whatever I wanted. But then again, I say that when you, the viewers, are the ones who decide absolutely everything I post, because I can't make a living off of 0 views. So it's only random to an extent. It's like randomness in D&D. It's only random to the extent of where the characters and DM push it. Well, I think that's a wrap. Pretty long video. Probably my longest session yet. Oops, I didn't mean to move my camera there. But yeah, that's it. Bye, everybody. See you in the next video.